Bihari Jai Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari Jai Gopi Jana Girvaradhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari Jai Gopi Jana Girvaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Kunja Bihari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachar Jamuna Tira Vanachar Jamuna Tira Vanachari Nati Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachar Jamuna Tira Vanachar Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Kunja Bihari Jai Gauranita Jai Gauranita Gauranita Jai Gauranita Jai Gauranita Jai Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Jagannatha. Jai Radha Vallabha, Radha Vallabha, Radha Vallabha, Shri Radhe, Jai Radha. Jai Radha Vallabha, Jai Radha Vallabha, Jai Radha Vallabha, Shri Radhe. Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jai Gurudeva, Jai Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jai Gurudeva, Jai Gurudeva, Jai Gurudeva, Hey Gurudeva, Jai Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jai Gurudeva, Jai Gurudeva. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhans Prabhupada Susat Śrīmad Aisi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai ISKCON Guru Gaur Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund गिरि गोवर्धन की जय, ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय, मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, गंगा माई की जय, यमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्री गौर निताई की जय, श्री राधा वल्लभ की जय, जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा देवी की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदी. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Panchakalpatarubhaisya kripa sindhu evacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavyo namo namo. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om ajnanatimrandasya jananjana shalakaya chakshurunmiltam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swayam Padantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Dapadakam Nam Shri Gurum Svaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sahagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadbhutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Cha. So we are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 1, The Supreme Lord is equal to everyone, and text number 38. There is no purport in few verses, so we'll go along as, and let's see how far we go. So text 38. अस्पां कुपितः एवं अस्पां कुपिता एवं युवं वासं च चर्हता युवं वासं न चर्हता राजस्तमोभयं राहिते राजस्तमोभिभयितं राहिते पादामूले मधुविषः पादामूले मधुविषः पापिस्तहम् असुरं योनिं बालिषुः यैषम् अवीत अथा बालिषुः यैषहम् अश्वथा अशापं कुपितः एवहम् युवं वासं न चर्हत राजस्तमोभयं रहिते पदामूले मधुदिशा पापिस्तं अशुतं योनिं पालुसहूयतं असुत अथा प्रभु असातं कुपिता एवं युवं वासं च चर्हतः राजस्तमोभयं रहिते पादं लोहे मधुदिशः पपिस्तहम् असुरं योनिं बालिसहूयतम् अश्वथा अशवं कुपिता एवं यौवं वसं च चारहतः रजस्तमोभयं रहिते पादमूले मधुदिशा पापिस्तामसुरं योनिं बालिशौ याशम् अस्वथा माताजी नाशं कुपिता एवं युवं वासं न चर्हत राजस्तमोभयं राहिते पादमूले मधुदिशः पापिस्तमसुरं योनिं बालिशम् अश्वतं युसतः अस्तं कुपिता एवं युवां वासं न चर्हत राजस्तमोभयं रहिते पादमूले मधुविषा पापिस्तं असुरं योनिं बालिशमधुकसं असहं कुपितः Asapan, cursed, Kupita, being full of anger, Evam, thus, Yuvam, you too, Te Vasam, residence, Na, not, Cha, and, Arthaha, deserve, Raja Tambhoyam, from passion and ignorance, Rahite, free, Pad Mule, at the lotus feet, Madhu Dvisha, of Vishnu, the slayer of the Madhu demon, Papistam, most sinful, Ashurim, demonic, Yonim, to a womb, Baliso, O you two fools, Yatam, go, Asu, quickly hereafter, Atha, therefore. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Thus checked by the doorkeepers, Jaya and Vijay, Sanandan and the other great sages very angrily cursed them. You two foolish doorkeepers, they said, being agitated by the material qualities of passion and ignorance, you are unfit to live at the shelter of Madhu Dusha's lotus feet, which are free from such modes. It would be better for you to go immediately to the material world and take your bath in a family of most sinful asuras. Hare Krishna. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about on this particular verse and then we'll go. There's no paper in this one. So what basically happens here is the four Kumaras, they go to Vaikuntha Lok. Now at this point, the four Kumaras are not bhaktas. They are yogis as well they are jnanis. So they have the knowledge and they have all the mystic powers. But they are not devotees in there. So one might be asking, they go to Vaikuntha Lok, where there is no ignorance. Isn't that right? Then how does this happen? Why does this happen? How can they get angry at the doorkeepers who are doing their duty? Because that's the job of the doorkeeper, to stop people who are not qualified. And how did Jay and Vijay think that anybody is in Vaikuntha is not qualified to go and meet the Lord? Isn't that right? So this is the main question. So how do you see everything? And if you can understand this point, you can then see how everything works. So here, Srila Prabhupada says, there is a divine plane of Narayan. And Lord Narayan wants to enjoy different rasas. But in Vaikuntha, everybody knows Lord Narayan is God. So when somebody is God, there is a lot of awe and reverence. There is a lot of respect there. But what is happening here? Lord Narayan wants to enjoy this rasa of, what rasa he wants to enjoy? Fighting, chivalry. But there is no one he can fight with. See, Krishna is smart. When he went in Vrindavan, nobody knows he's God. So he fights with his friends and everybody. But Narayan can't do that. So he also wants to enjoy that pastimes. So he chooses, he knows that the only way I can do this is that I can't do it in Vaikuntha Lok, I have to come to the material planet. But then he wants somebody worthy to fight with. He just doesn't want to come and fight with anybody. So what he does is chooses two of his most powerful people, two of his most powerful devotees. And who are they? The doorkeepers. They are the strongest people. They are the guards. So Jay and Vijay. So if you look at it from that point of view, the four Kumaras go there. There's a little bit of talk. There's nothing much. They could have spoken nicely, but anger came in there and they cursed them. And then the case is that they have to come to this material world as demons. So why demons? Now they are devotees. If you go to Vaikuntha planet, if you are a devotee, you cannot fall down. Then why didn't they just come to the planet in the material world as devotees? Why as demons? Isn't that a question? Because he wanted to fight. And if they knew devotee will never fight with Krishna or never fight with Narayan, so he had to create that situation that they're inimical to him. And that's why they took 3 baths. And as we're gonna go, we'll cover those 3 baths, And the first one is, they came down as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. It'll cover in the... So let's understand this. We don't try to actually see there's a master plan there. So if we see our life is also like that. Whatever we are going through, there's a master plan there. Now we have understood that these 2 children, these are the children, that we have already gone through this in Bhagavatam earlier. Kashyap Muni had children, and she had the children at the time of the dusk, which is the time when Lord Shiva comes out with all those of his group. And who are his, whom does he travel with? All the Rakshas. Where does he live? In the cemetery. So all those people who are Rakshas, demons, whom nobody wants, Lord Shiva wants to give them his association so they could also become devotees. So these are the people who are traveling. Now you can see that here it says that you take birth in the family of most sinful asuras. And whom did they take birth from? Diti. Isn't that? Who is the father? Kashyap Muni. And Aditi's children, they are demigods. So if we can see, even the parentage, it's very high. But that does not guarantee that what kind of a child you have. So later on, it is said that parentage and things, Lord, does not matter. You can be of a very high birth, or you can have a lot of money, a lot of opulence, you can do a lot of austerity. All this thing does not really please Krishna. It does not please Narayan. What really matters is the devotional service. So anybody can do devotional service. So this is the first thing. They have been caged now. And in the next, basically the whole of this canto will be covering this. This is just the basic point of what is happening. So we should understand this. At this point, the 4 Kumaras are not devotees. And then later on, when they smell the feet, what is at the feet of the Lord? Tulsi. And then they become devotees. And then you'll have, they are one of the 4 paramparas, disciplic session, Vaishnava paramparas that is available, and the knowledge comes from there. And whom did they get the knowledge from? They got it from Brahma, the father. So if you really look at it, now this particular parampara, Brahma Sampradaya parampara, until it comes to Gaudiya Sampradaya parampara, what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? There are 4 paramparas. He took 2 things from each of those paramparas. So from that point, this is basically a combination of all the paramparas. I had a devotee who was a great worshipper of, I think, Ramanuja in that parampara. And she didn't want to chant Hare Krishna. The husband was a great devotee. He was worshipping Krishna. He was chanting. And she could not get her mind to that. How can I leave him? I have worshipped him all my life. And then I sat down and I said, if you go to Mayapur, if you go to Chaitanya Math, you'll see that Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Maharaj has put all the 4, Vishnujan Swami, Madhva, Yamuna-Acharya, and who's the last one? Nimbarka Swami. So all 4 of them are there. I said, by being part of this, you are not actually deviating from whatever. And immediately it made sense to her. She started chanting, 16 rounds straight. So this is the beauty of our, and doesn't matter which Vaishnava Sampradaya they are, we can actually get them to actually worship in this. Okay, we'll read the next verse. Evam saptahu sab bhavanat patana tahuta kripalabhi proksaham punyaha janmabhivaham tribhulokaya kalpatam. While Jaya and Vijay, thus cursed by the sages, were falling to the material world, they are addressed as follows by the same sages, who were very kind to them. Outdoor keepers, after 3 baths, you will be able to return to your position in Vaikuntha Lok. And for then, the duration of your curse will be finished. So, they were only cursed for 3 lifetimes. It was not they were eternally coming down. Jajnaho tu dehe putrahu daitya dano vanditahu iranaksha puhu jrestaho iranaksho anujas tatha. These 2 associates of the Lord, Jaya and Vijay, later descended to the material world, taking birth as the 2 sons of Diti. Hiranyakashipu being the elder and the Hiranyaksha, the younger. They were very much respected by the Daityas and Danavas, demonic species. So they were born as demons. How does that happen? How do we understand that 2 devotees come in this material world, act like demons? So this is also the power of the Krishna's which energy? Is it the external energy or the internal energy? Is it Yogmaya or Mahamaya? This is Yogmaya. Why? Because they're trying to do a particular pastime. They're going to create so much havoc in the world. People might think, I've been thinking like that, thinking this. I said, these people should be actually, they're so glorious. Because of them, we have Lord Nrsimhadev to worship. If they hadn't created all those problems, Lord Nrsimhadev wouldn't have come. Lord Ramchandra's pastimes would have been there. Isn't that right? Because this is what they're trying to do. The devotees do not care what kind of things they have to do as long as it pleases the Lord. Their only desire is to please the Lord. Hare Krishna. So that's the goal. That's what we should be keeping in our mind. Whatever we are doing, is it pleasing the spiritual master? Is it pleasing the devotees? Is it pleasing Krishna? How do you know it's pleasing Lord Krishna? What is the sign? What is the test? What is the easiest test to know whether whatever you are doing is pleasing Krishna? Spiritual master is pleased, or basically devotees are pleased. That is the sign. If the devotees are pleased, Krishna is pleased. So if you want to please Krishna, what do? You please the devotees. It's very easy. So what you have to do? You do what pleases the devotees. And in this movement, Prabhupada, that might is very easy. You come here every morning, you dance, you have a little bit of philosophy, you have nice prasadam. So save devotees, make them happy. You always get there's so many devotees. There's many ways of saving. Save them prasadam. You just ask them, be nice to them. Prabhu, how are you? Mataji, how are you doing? Is there anything I can do for you? Just smile at them. Nothing, if you just smile at them, that pleases the devotees. Just recognize them. Simple, Oh, Hare Krishna Prabhu. So, that person knows me. Isn't that right? Sometimes you go to senior devotees, you go there and this person, oh, I met you, I remember you. That is enough, that has made the day. You give a little bit of prasadam with your own hand to somebody. I know I usually distribute prasadam. As soon as I have prasadam in my hand, I see devotees coming because they know I give prasadam. So it's very simple to actually please devotees. And that is the goal. By pleasing the devotees, you're going to please Krishna. So this These two brothers, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, these are the two brothers. Now, usually in the material world, the way we see is, if there is twins born, the first one is treated as older, am I right? And the second one born is the younger, in this material world. But what is actually right? What does Bhagavatam say?
What is conceived first is.
Yeah, but how do you know which one is conceived first? The one who is born last is the oldest one, not the first one. The one who is born conceived second gets born first. The one who is born last is the older one. So Hiranyakashipu was born later, and he was the older of the two. And then by their mercy, the Lord appeared twice. So we're going to read the next verse and we'll come to that. Hato Hiranyakshahu harinaha simarupinaha Hiranyakshaho dharo dharehe bibhartaha saukaraham bapuhu. Appearing as Nrsimhadev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Hari killed Hiranyakashipu while the Lord delivered the planet Earth, which had fallen into Garbhada ocean. Hiranyaksha tried to hinder him, and then the Lord, as Vara, killed Hiranyaksha. So this particular verse, you can talk for a month, because this verse is basically what we will covered in the whole canto. The Lord appeared twice. First one, he appeared as? Which appearance came first? Lord Nrsimhadev or Lord Vara? Lord Vara, right? Lord Vara, he appeared as Lord Vara. Where did he appear from? From the nose of Brahma. And he came in the form of a boa. Right? Why did he appear as a boa? From a dirty place. So where was the earth? So how do you understand where was the earth? So when Lord when the universes are created, the millions of universes are created, then Mahavishnu expands himself as Garbhadakshay Vishnu and enters each of this planet. Because the planet is very hot inside, he starts sweating, and half the planet is filled with water. And then he lies on that, and from his navel comes a lotus flower on which Brahma appears. So he took this planet and put it in that water, in the Garbha ocean. So Lord Vara had to go and get it from there. Another thing is that, so when he went down there, he took the bow, he put the earth on his tusk, and then he had a big fight with Hiranyaksha. And he was enjoying it. That was the purpose of it. They're hitting each other, It's not that because he's God, he just beats the other person. No, he wanted to exchange the other side of it to get beaten too. So he was enjoying these pastimes beautifully. And in the end, he killed him. So when he died, Hiranyaksha, he became very angry. His brother got very angry. But later on you're going to hear that he's not an ordinary person. He gives very nice instructions on how to actually overcome this pain of sorrow. He says that we are not this body and things like that. Whatever, we are here for a particular time, but whatever time is over, then we're going to die. But at the same time, after he pacified everybody, the sons and everybody, then he says, okay, let's take revenge. So, again, this was Lord's pastimes. Lord wanted to fight with him. He was creating an environment. The other thing is that by creating all these problems for everybody, what do devotees do? What do people do? When everything is nice, everybody is happy. Do you remember Krishna? We forget him. That's why they said, if you go to the heavenly planet, It's very hard to remember Krishna there. Why? Because there's so much room for enjoyment and you are so much engrossed into this that you do not have time. When you go to the hellish planet, there's so much suffering there. There is no time to actually... So this earth planet is the place where you can actually do both. Because there's enough suffering, but not too much where we can. But this is why it is not wrong to go through difficulty. Who was one person who said, I would rather have difficulties than bliss? Kunti Devi. Why? Because when she had all those difficulties in her life, every time she had difficulties, she prayed to Krishna and Krishna appeared to help them. Isn't that right? Throughout the whole life, they had all problems. But not for a moment they lost their faith in Krishna. And that's what we have to learn from all this. So whatever is happening, there's a superior arrangement for that. And whatever difficulties we are going through, we should actually thank everybody. Doesn't matter they are good or bad, if they can make us remember Krishna. And most of the time, people who put us through difficulty make us remember more about Krishna than your own friends. Isn't that right? When it is difficulty, it's, Krishna, please help, And if it is all good, okay, I'm the doer. When there is a problem, then, oh, Krishna, please, Krishna. But the fortunate thing is that at least we can know about Krishna. Majority of the people in this world, they don't know about Him. They even don't know that they're not this body. They're totally in illusion. Most of the people are non-different from animals. Isn't that right? What is the difference? They're in ignorance. Human life is meant for enlightenment. Enlightenment that we are not this body, we are the soul. We are part and parcel of Krishna. We are servant of Krishna and we are supposed to serve Him. So by worshipping Him, by praying, Prahlad Maharaj says that anybody who offers prayers to the Lord hears that. He doesn't need our prayers. But if you offer prayers to the Lord Nrsimhadev, oh Lord, He accepts it. And by that we make a lot of advancement. You might not say, I'm not advanced enough to actually, don't know how to worship or offer prayers. All you have to do is repeat what the saintly persons have already done. All the prayers we chant in the morning, Sansar Dawa, prayers offered to Srila Prabhupada, to Tulsi Maharani, just same prayers. And try to actually understand what you are saying. We chant, Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu. What does Karuna means? Merciful. Believe that He is full of mercy. How can you not expect, if He is merciful, how can He not be merciful? And He is not only merciful, He is ocean of mercy, Sindhu. Deen Bandhu. We are all fallen. He is a friend of the most fallen. So don't just chant these mantras, try to hear what you are. Understand? So just reciting the prayers and just meditating on those prayers, there's a two different things. The more you meditate on these prayers, the more you can, as soon as you say, Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Deen Bandhu, Jagatpate, He is the master of the, think of Lord Jagannath. Gopesh, Gopika Kanta. Kanta means? Everyone recites these prayers almost every day, right? What does Kanta means? Gopesh, Gopika Kanta. Beloved, lover. Gopesh, Gopika. Who are the Gopas? The Gopas. Gopika are the cowhead girls. Gopesh, Gopika Kanta. Radha Kanta, Namastute. Radharani is the last one. Whatever you say is the last one has the most significance. So when you chant this mantra every day, Tapta Kanchan, Gaurangi, what does that mean? Her complexion is like molten gold. Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi, Radha Vrindavaneshwari. She is the queen of Vrindavan. Krishna lives there, she is the queen, she is the owner of that place. So we should meditate. That's the prayers you think. When you think of her, put your mentally put your head on the lotus feet and chant these mantras. Okay? So, that's the Vara avatar. And then later on, Hiranyakashipu was killed by Lord Nrsimhadev. Now, we do not worship Lord Vara that much, at least not in ISKCON. But almost everybody worship Nrsimhadev. Why? What is the significance of Lord Nrsimhadev? Why do we worship him so much? Because he is Bhakta Vatsalya. He is the form in which Krishna comes to protect his devotee. And Jananivas Prabhu, the head pujari in Mayapur, one of the twin brothers, was asked, how do you worship Radha Madhava? He said, don't worship them. Don't ask for any prayers for them, just worship them. They're too busy. He's too busy with the gopis. If you want anything, you go to Lord Nrsimhadev. He's the one who's going to get rid of all your obstacles and everything. Now, there's a deity, there's a demigod whom we worship to remove all auspiciousness, inauspiciousness. Who is that? Ganesh. Where does he get his power from? Where does he get his, specifically, which form of Krishna? Lord Nrsimhadev. So his head is placed at the feet of Lord Nrsimhadev. And because Lord Nrsimhadev gets rid of all inauspiciousness, makes everything auspicious, so just because of that he gets the same power. This is mentioned in Brahma Samhita. So, Lord Nrsimhadev comes, and we have Prahlad Maharaj. The other thing to understand this is, Prahlad Maharaj has taken birth in a demonic family. So, if you want to go to India, for example, right, you go to the south, a very nice temple. If you want to do deity worship, is everybody allowed to do that? If you want to go and do personal service. No, you have to be a Brahman, right? You have to be born, you have to be trained right from the... See, Prabhupada has been very merciful. A demon like me, I have get an opportunity to go on the altar and do service. But there is a difference in there. So there's a lot of restrictions in there. Certain places, even then if you are taken a bath in a man's body, because in India, most of the places, women are not allowed to do worship. Am I right, Mataji? Right? You have to be in a man's body to actually do these things. There's a lot of restrictions in there. Even certain men are not allowed to go into the temple. So if you have taken birth in a lower family, like in a Mohammedan, then you are not allowed to go to. Jagannath temple has so many restrictions. People in white bodies are not allowed to go into the... So there's so much restrictions. Here, Prahlad Maharaj or Nrsimhadev is telling another thing is that to become a devotee, there is no restriction. Even born in a demon's family, you can become a devotee. Haridas Thakur, what was his birth? Yeah? He was born in a Muslim family. He could not enter the temple, but he was proclaimed as the Namacharya. So to become a devotee, there is no restriction. What is the difference? All the Varanashram, there's a lot of restrictions. You have to be a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. So Brahmans can only actually do that. But for devotee, it's above the bodily platform. It is on the level of the soul. Now you might have hearing me, I've been saying he's in the body of a man or a body of a woman. I didn't say he's a man or a woman. We are in a particular type of body. We are not this body. This is the first thing we have to understand. So when somebody asks, who are you? You think and answer them, I'm a soul, or I'm a man, or I'm a woman, or I'm an American, I'm Australian. These are all designation to the body. So we have to get above all those things. Then we can understand. So to a devotee, Prahlad Maharaj being born in a demonic family, he became a devotee. And he not only became a devotee, he became a great devotee. But how did he become a devotee? What did he get that other demons didn't get? He got association of Narad Muni. So this is the qualification. Narad Muni gave his association, gave him instruction, and a demon became a devotee, and one of the greatest devotees. So I was thinking, Srila Prabhupada has given us this. Srila Prabhupada has given us all these books. He has given us the Maha Mantra. And the whole world is full of demons. And it is our responsibility to go and help them out. We have to enlighten them. It's a very big responsibility. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came 500 years ago, he said that his name will be chanted in every town and village. Not many people believed him. Bhaktivedanta Thakur believed him. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj believed him. And there's so many disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. How many of them believed it? Not many. They said, oh, this is not going to happen. Kali Yuga is so powerful. It is something Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. It's not going to happen. But Srila Prabhupada did. And Prabhupada, we are all his extensions. We are all trying to save this movement. So we have to learn what Prabhupada has given us, and we have to give to the rest of the people. This is our responsibility. It's a very big responsibility. So, Lord Nrsimhadev, where did he appear from? So this is the next lesson. Krishna is everywhere, only if we believe it. When Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad Maharaj, is he in this khamba? Is he in this post? He said, yes. And then he tried to break it up, and Lord Nrsimha appeared. And then we know that it says again and again in all the scriptures that the Lord appears in the heart of a devotee in the form of Paramatma. So if we look at it, every person we can see, we should be seeing, okay, Krishna is there. So if somebody is there and you have to offer obeisances, don't be scared to offer. Don't think, oh, he's not a senior devotee. I should only offer obeisances to a senior devotee. You don't offer obeisances to the peasant. You can always offer obeisances to the Paramatma. Does that make sense? So in that way, you can offer obeisances to a tree. I was listening to a lecture on during the Kartik. They said the trees in Vrindavan are very special because we can't see this, but Krishna resides there and he performs all these beautiful pastimes under these trees. And the trees listen to it. And when you go and sit down there and you touch their feet, you get a mercy of those trees. You get purified by those pastimes and by their mercy. You can learn from anywhere. You can learn from a little kid. You can learn from a tree that is dying. You look at it and you say, okay, there's a soul in there. Knowledge is everywhere. And what you have to do is slowly try to, but just be careful. You have to actually, before you can preach, you have to find out what grade they are in. Then you have to bring them. You can't teach them high school stuff to a prep kid, So you have to go to the level and then gradually bring them up like that. And if you don't have anything, just give them prasadam. That's the first thing. Yeah, that's something easy. Manmohan Prabhu makes so much prasadam, and distributes it. That's all we have to do. Okay, the next verse. Hiranyakashipu Puranam Praladam Keshva Priyaham Jighameshu Akaram Nanaha Yatnaha Mrityu Hare Tabe. Desiring to kill his son Prahlad, who was a great devotee of Lord Vishnu, Hiranyakashipu tortured him in many ways. So what are the ways he tried to kill Prahlad Maharaj? He put them with snakes. Not only one, many snakes. many venomous snakes. Huh? Put him into the fire, he tried to burn him. He tried to have an elephant. Now he's 5 years old. You see how big are the elephants? He wanted to, but nothing could hurt him. So this is the point you have to understand from this. The point is that doesn't matter how hard somebody tries to kill you, if Krishna is there protect you, nothing gonna happen. So this is the lesson you have to take from this. That you have complete faith in Krishna and Krishna will protect you. Our problem is that we don't have faith in Krishna. That's why we try to do things on our own. Isn't that right? I was talking to a devotee and he says that, see, these are faith. You have to analyze your own life. Because the idea is, when we have, the first thing that comes is Shraddha. The next one is Sadhu Sangha, right? And it gradually goes to Prem. So this is different stage of the same thing. It's like in the beginning you got sugarcane juice. If you cook it, what happens? It becomes syrup, right? Then finally what you get is you get sugar candy. So it's the same thing, it's just more thick, and finally, when it's totally pure, all the ingredients are gone, impurities are taken out, what you get is Krishna Prem. So this is what we have to work towards. Start looking at your life, analyzing if something nice happened, why did it happen? How did Krishna's hand happen? If something bad happened to you, ask this question, what is Krishna trying to teach us? If you don't want something bad to happen to you, right? For example, you do something wrong, so Father punishes you. You do the same thing again, what does he do again? He keeps punishing you, right? Every time you do. But as soon as you learn the lesson and stop doing it, does he punish you anymore? So when you are put into a situation, Krishna is trying to teach you a lesson. And you ask them, why? What lesson he's trying to teach me? And you analyze on it. And once you understand that, and this is the lesson, then Krishna will take you to the next level. You have to pass grade 1 to go into grade 2. And every bit of our life here is a lesson. We should not get attached to all these things, material stuff. We should know that whatever we are going through is sometime in a family, there's so many people, but then there's some really nasty person that comes in the family. And he makes everybody's life miserable. They are the best people.
One bad apple makes the whole turn down.
But if that's one way of looking at it, that he's bad. But if you look at the other way, he's the one that he makes you most detest. Isn't that right? He said, if everybody is good, then you are taste, or everything is nice, I want to stay here. But if there's problems in there, somebody does something wrong, say, okay, 1 gone, 2 gone, 3 gone. And then as you realize that Krishna actually makes all these arrangements, that as you come closer to the final, which is death, all these things starts going away. You slowly get detached from everybody. Because you can't live this world unless you have detachment. As long as you have attachment to this material world, you are stuck here. Okay? So, first thing is that you should have complete faith. This is the pastimes in there. The other thing is that you have to understand, I'm just summarizing what we have said. There's Krishna's plan in everything. Try to see it from high up. If you are here, we can see what is around us there. But if you take in a camera, you go high up, then you can see the whole of Melbourne. There's a plane there, there's a picture there, there's a park there, there's a road there. We don't know what's around there. So if we look from the top and see what Krishna is trying to do, there is a plane there. Every living entity is trying to actually fulfill his desires here. They get born as our children, or they come as our partner, husband and wife, because they have their own plan, because of our karma. So the first thing is that you can never be happy Now mark my word, you can never be happy as long as you blame somebody else for what is wrong in your life. The day you took ownership that whatever is happening to my life, I am solely responsible for it, you'll be happy. The only reason the other person is doing something to you because you deserved it. It is not his problem, it is your karma. I killed somebody, somebody kills me. Well, he just wanted to kill somebody, so that's his karma. But I'm suffering that because of my karma. So if you want happiness, you have to accept the responsibility. I'm responsible for whatever is happening in my life. Do not blame everybody. And you'll see, if you can just meditate it, if somebody is bad to you, and you just look at it and say, okay, I'm responsible for this. But as devotees, you have to understand this. You just get a small dose. Krishna has minimized everything. You just get a small dose. You know, just like somebody had a small scratch and Prabhupada said your hand was supposed to be chopped off. You just got a small scratch. Krishna has minimized because we have taken shelter of it. But at the same time, you have to understand that this is not a place for us. This is dukkhalayam. This is a place of suffering. So you need two things. You need to be detached from this material world and you have to be attached to Krishna. Two kinds of people who also live this material world. Three kinds of people who live this material world. Who are they? The Mayavadis, Jnanis, and the Yogis. But Jnanis and Yogis don't have attachment to Krishna. So they go to the spiritual world. But where do they go? They go to the Brahman, they go to the Brahmajyoti, and they fall down from there. Because, you can fly high, but unless you have a place to land, you're going to come down. So you need to go and take shelter of a planet, to Vaikuntha planet, to know that you have to know who lives there, who is the Lord there. So only the devotees can actually get out of this material world and never come back. In some cases, they do come back. And that's what we are talking about right today. Jaya and Vijay came back. But they were not ordinary people. Now I was thinking about this. They appeared as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. Next one was Ravana and Kumkaran. And the third one was? And Sisupal, now we hear that. The question is basically, this particular part of it, when Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking, why did Sisupal merge into in Krishna? So what does that mean? There he's saying is that Lord is, this whole chapter is basically that Lord is not partial to anybody. He's equal to everybody. This is the whole, he's impartial to everybody. Impartial, right? And the whole of this canto is basically based on that. But we understand this. They merged into the body. So basically Prabhupada says that when the demons get killed by Krishna, they merge into them. Which means they go to the Brahmajyoti because they don't have a love and affection, a relationship with Krishna. They can't go to the spiritual planet. Some of them are very few fortunate ones like Putna. But Putna had another desire. We'll cover that another day, But here, he appeared 3 times, they merge into it. They appear one more time. And whom they appear as? Jagai and Madai. Then they go to the spiritual world. Then they go even higher than Vaikuntha. Because they become devotees of Mahaprabhu. And where does Mahaprabhu reside? Golok Vrindavan. So, by saving the Lord, even as a demon, they became promoted. Eventually they got this highest position in there. I'm not saying, the thing is that if a demon can get there, what happens if you're a devotee? Yeah, we will get there. Have complete faith that Krishna will protect us and Krishna will take it. That's why he's called Deen Bandhu.
But that standard of should be right to go there. So what is the standard between the demonic and the people like who are wanting him? Like, the standard of demon and non-demonic to go there will be also different, right?
There is a difference. The demons go to the Brahma Jyoti. You know what Brahma Jyoti is? So just like we have got light here, sky here, right? They merge into that just light area. They do not go to a particular planet. Because they go there and there is no association with anybody, they are on their own. But because they're in the spiritual world, there is no suffering. But there is no bliss. And we are all looking for happiness. So eventually they come down again. So it is not that basically you wasted the time. But when you become a devotee of Krishna, then you have a relationship with Krishna. Then you go where Krishna is. The other devotees are there. Then you worship them. Then you are with them. You are worshipping Krishna. And then you don't come back. Does that make sense? I can put you in a room and everything is nice. There is no suffering there. How long you can stay in there? Eventually you want to get out. Everything is nice, you know. Outside is hellish. Inside you are around there. Everything is peaceful, no problem. But how long can you stay there? I would rather go in there, suffer outside. And that's why these people who go up there and they come down here. So first thing, they became karmis. What do karmis do? They want to enjoy everything in this material. They get frustrated. Then I said, I don't want to do anything with this material world. And what do they become? They become jnanis. Jnanis are the one, I'm not this body, I'm not this naiti. And finally they said, so at the time of the death, whatever we are thinking of, whatever our consciousness determines our next life. And their consciousness is, I don't want to do anything in this material world. So they have to get out of this material. Krishna puts them in the spiritual world. But because they are not devotees of Krishna, they can't go to his planet where he is. So they go to a place called Brahma Jyoti where everybody merges into the light. It's just so for example, a devotee would go to the sun planet and worship the sun god. But a Mayavadi would just merge into the light. Does that make sense? Now when they come back, they are frustrated. Now they have become a karmi, they try to enjoy everything. They try to become God, and that even failed. So what do they become next? What is the next stage? They want to become void. Voidism, which is Buddhism. So Buddhism, people are saying there's nothing there. There's no material, no spiritual, everything is finished. I don't want to do anything with this. This is frustration. But a devotee says, everything is there. Krishna is there. We go to Krishna Lok and we become his devotee. Does that make sense? Have I answered your question? So, even a demon, if it is killed by Krishna, he goes there, but it's not the ultimate. You have to come down. So don't try to become a demon. Just try to be a devotee. You know. That will guarantee you going up there and never coming back. Yes, bro.
Yes, Hindu. Thank you very much for a nice class. How to increase our love for the Krishna so that we can reach the Africa fastest?
I'm a lazy man. I've got a very logical mind, and I always think. I always tell people, work smarter, don't work harder. Right, so this is my philosophy. Now you have to understand what pleases. How do you go to Krishna first? You do things that it pleases him most.
Pleasing his senses.
Yeah, Krishna's senses. So what pleases Krishna most? Now you look at this, listen to the thing we have spoken about. Lord Nrsimhadev. He's so angry, isn't it? Why is he angry? Right. So his love for the devotees is so much that he can take this form of Nrsimhadev and when he came as Lord Nrsimhadev, he was so fearful that Brahma, the demigods, even his own wife, Lakshmi Devi, could not go in front of him. But for little Prahlad, who had complete faith in the affection of his master, he had no fear, no. So what we can understand from this is that nothing pleases Lord more than when his devotees are pleased. And that is the goal. By pleasing his devotees, and in the beginning when I was in Fiji, I thought this, okay, I've been here for many lifetimes, I don't want to be, so what is the fastest way to go? Should I take the stairs or should I take the lift, And my thing was that, okay, please the devotees, Krishna gets pleased. What is the fastest way to please the devotees? Huh? Save them what? What kind of service is the best service? Huh? Prasadam, right? Most of us are here and this is the reason why I'm in the kitchen. Because I know if I cook them, they're happy. Isn't it? This is it. You cook now, so many people, Prabhu, so nice prasadam, People come to me, you didn't cook this time, right? So by now they also know that if I didn't cook it, like that. And if they're happy, this is how I know Krishna is happy. The devotees are happy, Krishna is happy.
Any other way?
The fastest way for us to get out of is preach the message of Prabhupada. Prabhupada is very dear to Krishna. If Prabhupada gets pleased, if Prabhupada goes and tells Gaur Nitai, take this person, take Mahatma, please. He has saved me so nicely. They can't say no. So if we save Prabhupada, save his mission, rest is all taken care of. Save your spiritual master, save this mission, That's what our gurus are doing, Yes, Mataji.
Actually, Lord Krishna appeared in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach Sankirtan, chanting the holy name. The essence of entire Bhagavatam is chanting the holy name of the
Yeah.
That is the easiest way to please Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Krishna.
Just end it. Bhagavatam.
Very
Yeah.
mercifully, yes.
In Bhagavatam, say that.
The way to worship, we worship Krishna, Lakshmi Narayan. We do deity worship and things like that. How do you worship Lord Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? By chanting. Chanting what?
Holy names.
Which holy names? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Everyone, much more louder with your hands up. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. They say you chant the mantra, this Hare Krishna mantra once, at least you are guaranteed a human life in your next birth. So everyone who chanted, at least you will become a human life. But we shouldn't become a human, we should get out of here and go to the spiritual world. The only reason why somebody said out of compassion that we should stay here and preach the movement. And the Maharaj said that, get out of here first, get yourself pure, and then later on you can come and help the movement, Yeah. Okay, so yes, chanting, there's five things that Rupa Goswami has told us to do. What are those 5 things? The holy name, chant the holy name of the Lord. Sankirtan, that's what we are doing. See, Prabhupada has given us everything. You don't have to even know to do this, right? Prabhupada said this is Vrindavan. So you are in the Dham. We are reading Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and listening to Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. We are chanting the holy name of the Lord. We just worship the Lord. And what's the 5th one? Association of devotees. All the devotees are here. So Prabhupada has done everything. All we have to do is come and attend his program. I know a lot of people like to this. Something good came out of COVID is there. All these lectures are now broadcast so people can listen. If you can, come and sit down here. Because this is how you get devotee association.
We had a house.
Any other comments? Any other questions? Yes, I was looking for you.
You said that the material world is life in the material world is really miserable. But sometimes you see, when we're doing devotional service, we feel really blissful with the prasadam, doing services. So then we feel like just to stay here and serve Krishna and not go to the spiritual world. So is that okay?
It is okay, but if you can save him there, why do you want to save here in this miserable world? Because it doesn't matter. Can you save him here continually? You have to go to school, right? You have to spend so much time sleeping to get your body rested. If you're not feeling well, then you have to go there. You have to eat on time and everything. In the spiritual world, you don't have to worry about all those things. You just serve. So saving here is good, so you can get the taste. But saving in the spiritual world is millions times better. Okay?
Thank you.
So yeah, it's nice to save. That's the lesson we have to learn. That's what we have to practice. Our life is sadhana. Sadhana means practice. But the goal is go to the spiritual world. We are not like Srila Prabhupada, who can come here and preach without being affected. We have to have a lot of compassion. And that's what we practice now. And one day, when you are qualified, in one life, Krishna will send you, okay, you go and do what Srila Prabhupada did in one of the planets. If that's your desire, he'll fulfill it. Okay? Okay, we'll stop here. Grantra Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Srila Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Devi ki jai, Radha Ballabha ki jai, Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All the glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Vanchikalpataru bhaischa kripa sindhu evacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavyo namah. Srila Prabhupada and his movement ki jai.